Hello there, and hello YouTube. Yeah, so it's a bit of a strange spot at the moment because, of course, we're all being asked to stay indoors apart from necessary trips to the shops. And something I want you to think about when you're on those necessary trips to the shops, because I was talking to a lot of groups who are being affected through my job at the Business Post. And one group that is obviously close to my heart are the craft brewers here in Ireland. And a lot of these are small operations. Many of them, they do great work in the communities they're in terms of local employment, but they rely on certain seasonal stuff. And so I decided, in order to try and do my bit for them, is to support the breweries, talk about the beers, one a night, for the next couple of weeks, or well, however long this goes, basically. Obviously, I will be mindful of the level of strength of beer because there are work nights, including tomorrow. So that's why today's choice, which we'll get to in a second, is very, very specifically chosen. But there will be some more powerful ones coming up there. But one thing I'd like you all to do is tell me a brewery whose beer you'd like me to drink and give a shout out to, who could do with some support. Leave it in the comments, and I will do my best when I'm on my shopping, which will of course be only the necessary journeys, to pick up some of those cans, because we've got some great off license here in the Dublin 6 area. Shout out in particular to Jimmy Redmond in Redmond's there in Renla. But today's beer, so it's behind me here, so let's have a look. I felt if we're going to start off with an Irish beer, the name of this one, Hope. It's their Hop On Hope, of course, from North Dublin. Lovely people. Yeah, so we're starting off with Hop On, which is a session IPA. Now, I've no idea how fizzy this is opening, so this could get very stupid in a hurry. You gotta love that sound. Now, I love a pub, and it's very sad they're closed, but we can still enjoy a good beverage, support our brewers. I'm going to do what I can, although I'm sure none of you doubted that. The one's supposed to be back open to support a lot of the pubs that I love who are being shut down during this phase. But yeah, let's just get that bad boy in there. Now, okay, the head's a bit big because I can't pull for crap. People can make all the various terrible jokes you're going to make now. But we'll let that settle a bit because Reiner here isn't sure what he's doing. And it's like, Jesus, you poured it like that. And this is going to get gift now of me just looking like an idiot who can't pull a pint. I can drink beer, I don't pull it. There's a reason, Everybody else in my siblings worked bar at some point. I famously didn't. I just kept a lot of bars in business. So this is a session IPA, which is a great one to have actually on a work night because they're only around the 4.5% range. This is actually 4.3% in particular. And what I like though with Hope, and some of you know my eating tastes, one of these things I can't go for. Goes well with the cheese board. This is, by the way, is Hop On, their session IPA. It goes well with the cheese board, but they also recommend it with a spice bag. And I am rather fond of a spice bag. So good work, Hope. So let's have a quick, nice bit of a sort of mild sort of hoppy smell to it, like very fresh smell. Oh yeah. So what I'm liking here is it's very gentle when it first goes in. It's like got this real refreshing feel around the side of your mouth, and then the aftertaste is when this little bit of bitterness comes in, and it's still kind of piney almost going on in my mouth. And I'm gonna have another sip here because it's very important to do a thorough test when you're tasting a beer. I'm sure now John, Beer Nut Man, will be disagreeing with me on the level of thoroughness required. Yeah, I'm getting a fair bit of caramel in this as well. So it's a nice bit of caramel pine combination going on here. And what I like about this though is it's so gentle. And yeah, so it's a great beer. Now, a lot of you, I know this is going to be a tough time, and it's not going to be easy. And having the pint on your own in the house isn't the easiest thing going. But personally, I'm going to tell you, it's worth it. Many of you know my dad hasn't had the best of health lately, and I last saw him just over a week ago, and I frankly have no idea when I'm going to see him again. And I'm human. This is very concerning to me. This makes me worried, but I know that my dad's in the, and so about my mum as well, in the most vulnerable age category. They're both, well, dad's 85. I'll be polite and not say mother's age, because I'll get feckin' murdered on the internet if I do. But indeed, anyone who's ever interviewed by me for the tech section will be well aware of my dad's age, because I will often, when I'm getting them to describe their company, go to me. So don't explain to me. Explain to my dad, who's 85 and has never used a computer or smartphone, what your company does. And so many of them are familiar with Dad's existence entirely from that question. And yeah, so for me, that's tough. So believe me, I'm not just saying blandly, don't go to the pub. Obviously, you can't anyway, they're closed now. But, well, some of you aren't in Ireland. Please, those of you as well who are not in Ireland watching this, don't go to the pub. But for those of you who are in Ireland, this is why I'm making these videos. Although, obviously, I welcome all the rest of you watching. Drink Irish. Hope are lovely people. They've taken a unique approach to what is a fairly, well, it's actually fairly straightforward. They've actually got a pretty wide variety of beers. But even when they started out with some fairly conventional beers, and obviously then grew out, and they got some other ones, and there will be other Hope beers being drank during this series, because we won't just do one brewery, that's it for them. We'll have multiple ones from others, but we're going to get through a few breweries before we do any return trips. It's great to see companies like this. These heads, the first thing they thought of was, well, what'll make us stand out, apart from being, this local brewery in this part of North Dublin. And for them it was the pairing. They initially said, let's see what we can do to make beer thought of in the same way when someone's making a choice in a restaurant, in a high-end restaurant, the way, wine is, basically. And no, it's simple, it's lovely, but not many people were doing it. You had tasting notes, but you hadn't got people going, well, what are you eating? This is what you pair with. And that's something I really like about them. They're also just, frankly, lovely people, which I think I've said about 4 times, but Jesus. It's like, the thing with most of the brewers you meet in Ireland is they're adorable feckers. They're really nice, they, love making beer. And a lot of them as well started their breweries coming out of another bad time for our country. The, dark recession we had there back in '08 was in many respects the birth point for a lot of the breweries we have now, and people looking for new ways to work at the time. Oh, seriously, I love this beer. I hadn't actually drank it in about, geez, it must be, I'm going to be rude and say to Hope, I think it's only the second time I've had a Hope beer in 2020, and this is disgraceful on my part. I should have been going back to ye to the well far more often than I have been. But yeah, listen, so the hashtag I put up on Twitter, Drink Irish, do what you can to support your local breweries, because, they're doing a lot to make sure that there's options for you beyond just the macro stuff in the bars. And like when the bars come back, I want you all to start supporting them as well, and do what you can for any bar staff who are currently out of work because of this, because obviously it's going to be very tough on them. Same for restaurant staff as well, just to be clear, not the whole hospitality sector is taking a beating, but you can do at the moment right now to help some people who are going to feel it and who are in that situation of they need this to keep going. Buy Irish beer. Go to your offie, look for it, check on the can where it's made. And now, was it really craft? Was it really that? I'm not asking you to be, Inspector frickin', I don't know, Napoleon Solo, whatever, or Jerry Orbach, Lenny Briscoe. But if you see an Irish address, give them some support, see what it's like. And the best thing is, you might end up finding a beer you'd never heard of that you end up loving. Like, I'd forgotten how much I actually like this. This is fantastic. So, like I was saying at the start, in the comments below, tell me what beers you want to see me drinking, and you want me to, try out. I've got about a dozen, 13, 14 maybe, different breweries in my kitchen right now in terms of beer. I made a point of buying and grabbing as many different beers as I could from different breweries. A couple of them have been great for telling me where to find their stock. And listen, slaunch to you all, and wash your hands, and tell the people you love them. See you tomorrow.